I feel a little guilty. Yesterday, I was a little remiss in something that I neglected to ask, and I actually felt a little bad about this, and I didn't want this individual to feel neglected, like they didn't count, like they were a second-class citizen, like they were just chewing gum on the bottom of a shoe, pond scum. Any idea what I'm getting at?
No, because I think we're all pond scum.
Well, we all talked about my power coming back on. We talked about your power coming back on, Fester.
Yes.
I had a 9:22 power return on Sunday morning. You had like an 8 o'clock or so power return on Sunday night. I had about 12 hours on you. And Roxanne never lost power.
No.
Nope. In West Chase, I guess that's the place to go. West Chase.
Very powerful.
Yeah, West Chase, total power.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the power.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
There's one person that we didn't address.
Yeah.
We addressed him after. I addressed him after the show.
I didn't ask
We
Andrew.
didn't call Shorty Oh.
Yeah, Andrew, our producer. Yeah.
So whose fault is that? It's nobody's fault.
It's my fault.
No, it isn't.
I should have asked Andrew. Andrew, I'm sorry, 24 hours late. Andrew, our producer, hails from Carrollwood. Andrew, is your power back on?
The pond scum got his power back Saturday evening.
Oh, wow. You had it before anybody. You had it before us.
So hold on.
You had it hours before me and a whole day, it sounds like, before Fester.
Don't be so hard on yourself, MJ. This is a conversational morning show. You chip in with stuff. I mean, you could have volunteered it.
I meant to ask, and I forgot. All right, so you don't think I should beat myself up over this? Hey,
no, maybe Andrew had power guilt. He had guilt for getting it back on so early, so he didn't even want to draw attention to himself.
You don't have a dog in this fight. Power guilt?
Yeah,
you had power the whole damn time.
That's what I'm saying. I have a little bit of power
You didn't lose
guilt.
any power.
She had the guilt.
I lost a bunch of my homemade ice cream. Because 2 weeks earlier, I made a whole batch of vanilla bean. I made a whole batch of my Belgian dark chocolate. I made my mint chocolate chip. I lost ice cream in this deal. So listen, that's obviously it's nothing compared to what I'm being a little facetious here.
But
for
just a
the
little.
people that lost their contents of their house. No, but we lost. We were able to move some things to some neighbors that had a generator and freezer space, but now lost my ice cream. So I got next couple of weeks. I'll take some time over the weekend and build back my homemade ice cream supply. Oh, you know what? I gotta check
Build
with.
back better. Build your
I
ice
gotta
cream
check
supply
with
back better.
Alfred down at the Small Batch Creamery.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Alfred, friend of the show, he's got a great ice cream shop down here on 4th Street near 54th called Small Batch Creamery. I got to ask Alfred if he lost power down there. Because we didn't lose power here. I don't think Andrew, did you ever ascertain, did we lose power here in the office complex?
I did not hear anybody say that we did.
Yeah, I think we kept power here in the Bayfront, Bay Point, whatever the hell we're called.
But with our generators and the UPS, I don't know if anybody would have known in here.
Yeah, I know we have UPS systems, the uninterruptible power supply. I know we've got a huge Caterpillar diesel generator out back.
Yeah, but it has no gas in it. It has no fuel. Well, the price of diesel these days, boys, I don't know.
Yeah, we got budget cuts over here. We got no diesel. No, I don't know if we lost power over here, to be quite honest.
I don't know. I talked to Meredith down the hall. If we see her, we should grab her because she just got power restored yesterday, and she said she was so thankful to see the linemen, and they told her they're sleeping in their trucks on Nebraska because there are no hotels. Some of them were going to stage at the Trop, and so these guys who are in town, I think her guys were from Jersey, and they have no place to stay. They're sleeping in their trucks.
I spoke to Paul Delgado last night. Paul, longtime friend of mine. And, folks said, hey, you have Dennis Phillips on all the time. Or did you have a falling out with Paul? No, I didn't have a falling out with.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. It's just that radio station-wise, our relationship is with ABC Action News and Dennis Phillips. And Dennis Phillips is absolutely phenomenal. Listen, the two names in Tampa Bay when it comes to weather are Dennis Phillips and Paul Delgado. And they're friends. they talk to each other. And Paul is still a good friend of mine. Dennis has become a good friend of mine. I spoke to Paul last night. I was doing my neighborhood walk, and it felt good. This is the first time I really got out to walk in, like over a week. And just walking through the neighborhood, and I'd seen pretty much the damage already from Helene and now with Milton. And I was speaking to Paul, and Paul also had no power. I don't think, and Dennis, I don't think they lost power. I think Dennis, who lives in Palm Harbor, I don't think he lost power. But Delgado, as of when I was speaking to him at 7 o'clock last night, did not have power. Now, I think Meredith, do you know exactly where Meredith lives in South Tampa?
Yeah, let me give her address out right now.
No, I'm not.
I think she lives near. I think it's near Plant High School.
Yeah. So a lot of that interior there was without power.
Yeah.
So Paul is in that general vicinity as well. So I wonder if it was the same grid or around the same area where Meredith, who used to be on the MJ Morning Show years ago, we plucked her out of obscurity and made her who she was. Remember, we yanked her out of Jacksonville.
She was pressing buttons behind a board in
Oh,
Jacksonville.
yeah.
So MJ made her a star.
We made Meredith a star on the MJ Morning Show. Just groomed her up nicely for Orlando to then, pilfer her.
So I talked to Hurricane yesterday from the MJ Morning Show.
Yeah, I saw Hurricane in the Walmart fiasco gas line on Saturday morning.
He mentioned that.
Yeah.
I saw MJ over the weekend.
Yep.
Hurricane has been knocked out by a hurricane because he still has no power. We were talking last night by a text, and I was like, sorry, buddy.
All right, so power-wise, so Meredith is back. I got to check in with Paul. Maybe I can get Paul to pop on this morning. Not talk about because it's kind of territorial because Paul and Fox they do weather for a different radio company, and we
well, maybe we can have Paul talk about his dog.
Hold on, it's one thing.
Yeah, how'd the dog do during the hurricane?
It's one thing to talk to these media. We all have contractual obligations as far as we're with this group and they're with that, and that's okay. Right. But it's another thing to talk to somebody because they're a person of note in the community.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think Dennis is going to join us this morning as well. Kind of a little aftermath and kind of check in on his Halloween decorations, which he did put up his 12-foot skeleton. So yep. So Dennis Phillips did put up. Is that an indication that he thinks it'll be quiet for a little bit?
Yeah, that's a good indication.
Dennis Phillips did put up his 12-foot skeleton over the weekend. So I think we're going to have Dennis on. I spoke to him yesterday as well, and I believe. Oh, is that? Go get Meredith. Go get Meredith.
And Dennis can also put to bed any rumors about potential storms. People, I don't know if you hear this casually, but you could talk to someone. Oh, another one's coming. Another one's coming. So he can put those rumors to rest. Hi, Mary. Good morning.
Hey, Roxanne said that you got power last night.
I just got power. Yeah, at
what time?
4 p.m., 5 p.m.
4 p.m. So I spoke to Delgado.
Yeah.
Where do you live? I mean, not your exact address, but what is your general vicinity on the South Tampa Peninsula?
Well, I live like 2 minutes away from you because I'm super cool like that. So off of West Shore area.
Gotcha. Oh, and you, so you're south of me on West Shore.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And you just got power?
I just got power. And then the street right behind us, because we live like on a little circle, the street right behind us still doesn't have power.
Yeah, it's weird that way.
Yeah.
And then I was speaking to Paul Delgado about 7 o'clock last night, and he's a little further in the middle of the peninsula, and he still didn't have power as of like 7 o'clock last night.
Yeah, but I made sure to bless those linemen, boy. I was handing out Red Bulls and high noons, and I was so excited.
Hold on, you're handing alcohol to the linemen?
Yeah, and their boss was there. I was like, hide your eyes and your ears. I'm handing out some stuff. But it was the end of the day. I made sure that they weren't doing anything else. But I would still give them tequila shots.
Fix the lines with their tequila.
Right.
Whoa!
And some of them are really cute.
Hey, Jello shots out of Meredith's belly button.
Yes, if I had that available. But unfortunately, my freezer and refrigerator was done.
Those little boys have been on the road for about 2 weeks. They just wanted to see you walk out of the house.
Yes, they are actually.
Did you wear a skimpy little outfit?
I was not, but I would have if my husband wasn't standing right there. But they're actually sleeping off of Nebraska Avenue. A lot of them out of their truck.
Roxanne just said that. That's
nuts?
crazy.
That's so crazy.
You told me that.
Yeah. So, ladies, if you're single, bless some of these linemen. They deserve it.
Yeah. Well, somebody showed me.
Hold on. You talking about single ladies breaking a piece off for the linemen?
Hang on a minute.
Yes, they're very cute.
Hey, somebody showed me.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Someone showed me a picture off of Bloomingdale out near Brandon.
Yeah.
There was a sign that somebody put on the side of the road that said free
Oh.
for linemen.
What?
Well,
Yes.
that's a little vulgar, but I want to start a campaign.
Yeah.
High beams for linemen.
High beams for life. I love that. I got to go.
Why don't you two start that? Yeah. Rock's here first.
6:10 at the MJ Morning Show.
That's great.
On a Tuesday morning, back in minutes. Traffic is on.
No incidents to report yet this morning. Keep in mind that most Bay Area...
It is the MJ Morning Show. MJ and the crew here, 6:19 on a Tuesday morning. Regarding gas, so I saw a couple of stories that gas lines were still long in certain places, but we seemed to have indications yesterday when we took phone calls that there were plenty of gas stations that were open, had gas, and that the lines were like minimal or non-existent. We had several callers yesterday that phoned up and said that they saw gas stations that looked like a normal day, not post-hurricane, not post-fuel issues, and that you just drive right up to the pump and pump your gas.
You know, driving around town yesterday, not every station has gas yet and is 100% operational.
Yeah, there are still plenty of stations that are still closed.
But there are enough to take the pressure and the anxiety out of the gas buying process. I mean, people who think they're going to wait in super long, crazy hour lines today, as opposed to how they felt over the weekend, it's just a different situation.
Yeah, I guess people were waiting hours for the free gas. And I have to ask the question, is waiting 2 hours in line for 10 gallons of gas, is that really a good use of your resources and time?
If you're on a Zoom call.
That's my question.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can like multitask, do a Zoom call,
I'm sure people that are waiting for 10 gallons of free gas have a job where they're on Zoom calls.
Making a judgment about that?
All right, hold
Why
on.
not? Why not? Do a Zoom call. Do a PTA conference. Do something to
Okay.
pass the time while you're waiting for your gas.
Yeah, the schools are all closed.
That's
There's
why you gotta get to work.
a lot of PTA conferences going on.
Hey, I'm in touch with mine.
I bet you there were thousands of people who received the 10 gallons of gas where they are eternally grateful and they are on the balls of their ass financially after getting 2 storms where 10 gallons of gas is an exceptional blessing for them right now.
I get it, but is it worth waiting 2 to 3 hours in line?
For those folks, absolutely. There are people like you.
I'm not judging. I'm just asking. I'm just posing a question.
There's a segment of society that doesn't have $10 to their name right now, who are waiting for their next check or paycheck or direct deposit or government check, and I probably spent $1,000 that I wasn't planning on spending between replacing what I've lost. Right. I'm going to end up spending thousands of dollars because I lost a big oak tree. I have an oak tree sitting in my backyard on its side. I have no idea what the hell to do with this tree.
So is it near the house? Is it on? No. Is it on? Did it hit a fence?
It was no. I have like a
So where did it land? And how tall's the oak tree?
40 feet.
So where'd it go?
It fell forward. I mean, I have a reasonable size.
So your lot contained
the entire
tree.
And the tree.
What kind of canopy we talking about?
Enormous. I mean, a big.
So where is all this crap?
It's in the backyard. The tree's just.
What size is your lot?
Half acre.
All right.
So it's a reasonable lot to be in the county in a subdivision, and but I have this tree that's down. I'm going to spend thousands of dollars. I mean, if I were in a little bit of a different situation to get 10 gallons of free gas, knowing that I have to put out this kind of money that I wasn't expecting to. I mean, I saw another video. People talk about evacuate. Evacuating's not free.
Right. There's a lot of gouging going on.
Oh yeah, there is. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not gonna mention any names, but there's absolute gouging going on, and I wanted no part of it. I had an oak tree fall in my yard. This is a little bit of an uncomfortable story, but you know what? I'm going to tell it. I had an oak tree fall in my yard, in my back right corner of my yard, and there was an oak tree that had kind of a weird growing pattern. It came out of the ground, and it tilted or it grew. It was like a bend over my fence line. And I've got a wrought iron fence back there. It wasn't a wooden or like a polyvinyl fence. It's a concrete and stucco, like a knee wall with then pilasters and then chunks of wrought iron. And when I built my house, I used real wrought iron. I mean the real solid, heavy stuff. And I didn't use the aluminum stuff, I'm talking about that flimsy aluminum, a little thicker than a Coke can. I didn't use that stuff. I spent a little extra, and I had real wrought iron custom made to go in between my fence pilasters. And this oak tree tilts over, and the canopy was a little bit on my side, but mostly leaning over my neighbor's side, and the tree fell. For whatever reason, this tree decided to fall over. It got spiked on my fence, my wrought iron fence. And again, solid wrought iron, painted black, with spikes.
Like the tree was stabbed by the fence.
It was. I mean, that is a very good way to put it. You're 100% right. Very descriptive. So the tree fell on the spikes. It snapped one of the spikes right off. It broke the weld and just knocked it off. Michelle found it on the ground.
Yeah, that was a missile.
Then 2 or 3 other spikes were impaled in the tree.
Oh, the tree died on the sword.
Well,
pretty close.
It's another good way to put it. Very Shakespearean, by the way.
Yes.
All right. So the tree is hanging over. I wasn't home. I'm on the air. The cleanup begins. And a tree guy that does, a good deal of work on my street for this tree. And this is not a huge oak tree. This is a live oak. It's, it's a medium tree, not a massive tree. It's not a small tree. It's just kind of maybe medium light. And the tree guy quotes my neighbor $9,500.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
The tree guy quotes my neighbor $9,500 to remove the tree. And he goes, okay. And I'm like,
What?
What?
I mean, listen. Okay, money's relative. 10 grand to somebody is different than what it means to me.
So, my neighbor did not contact me and didn't say, hey, I got a quote, because I would have said that is outrageous. That is a ridiculous usury type price. That is a gouge price, $9,500 to remove that tree. That ridiculous. For instance, the same tree guy, quoted me $4,000 to remove an oak that's having problems that is 5 times the size of this tree. So $4,000 for a tree 5 times, and this is like a month ago, 2 months ago. So my neighbor, he says, okay, and they start cutting all the stuff on his side, and he's like, oh, we'll just split the price of the tree. I'm like, dude, no, because I had independently, when the tree guy told me $9,500 independently, I said, nope, just leave that alone. I'll take care of that another way. And meanwhile, my neighbor had authorized, and it's just kind of an odd situation. So his part is completely cut off. And then
your part's dangling there?
Well, the chunk, it's out of the ground, and there's really not a dangle, because the bulk of the tree and the canopy was in his yard, and I was going to move to have somebody else remove the tree for a fraction of the price. But I'm not going to be part of a gouge. You know me. Do I like a gouge?
No.
I hate a gouge. I mean, I run from a gouge. I expose a gouge.
Nobody really enjoys the gouge. So
no one enjoys the gouge.
Don't think you're exclusive in that company. However,
I never said I was exclusive in the anti-gouge category.
I enjoy it.
I don't own that category.
When you say, do you think I enjoy a gouge, you're implying there are others who are like, yes, gouge me. But
others maybe take a gouge without less resistance.
Yes.
He's a gouge resistance guy.
Yes.
So that's where things stand. So
that's a great example.
And I think my neighbor wanted me to kind of like cover half the deal. I'm like, so he ended up paying, I guess, for his half. and then if you saw what's left on my side, and it's the stump up through like maybe 10 feet or 9 feet of the trunk, which is now it's off my fence. It's pulled off my fence entirely, and it's just kind of sticking up.
Because the weight's gone.
Yeah. I mean, to remove what I have now might be $500, might be $600, in a normal time. And I'll just leave that. It's doing nothing. It's hurting nothing. And I'll just wait until it's, slowed down, and all the crazy tree services that are running around ragged right now. I'll just wait until Christmas time and have it yanked out.
A lot of the tree services that are in town, just like the electricians and the police departments, are from out of town. So they're doing all the work now, but eventually the market will settle down again. And when it does, I got a tree in my backyard if anybody's looking for work.
Yeah, listen, We'll try to
listen when it gets out. It's not hurting anything. Nobody, the tree was leaning on one of its branches.
Yep.
And the branch broke, and the tree fell more and rolled.
Oh wow!
And took out half the other tree.
Wow. Okay, I got you. Yeah. And then I've already been in touch with Fred.
Yeah, Fred.
Fred from Profusion.
He's gonna fix the fence.
I sent Fred pictures of the fence, and he said, piece of cake. Yeah. So my wrought iron. Yeah. So Fester, you went to high school with Fred.
Yeah, Fred Craig.
Fred Craig, two first names.
Right.
Fred Craig is the owner of Profusion, which they're in Largo. They're on Belcher and Largo, and they are a serious welding and metal workshop.
All kinds of armature work.
He's got fusion laser. He's got a machine that's $2 million, like a laser. It's like the size of a double garage. He's got this machine that laser cut. It's unbelievable. And I said, so to get my fence fixed, Fred's like, piece of cake.
Don't worry about it.
No problem at all. So I'm going to have it. And listen, and Fred, remember, he advertised for a while.
Yes, he did.
He was looking to hire welders and he was like metal craftsmen. and he bought some commercials, and he actually made some hires.
That's awesome.
From the show.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited to have him. When things settle down, have him come out and fix my wrought iron fence.
At the end of the day, the one fallen spike off your wrought iron fence isn't the biggest deal in the Bay Area.
It's like three. It's like three of them. Listen,
apologies.
I get that. I never said it was.
I'm not saying
that's why I'm in no rush to get it done. But you just got to be very aware of, be cognitive of just prices that are through the roof. I understand supply and demand. I understand some increases, but to charge $9,500 for a tree removal that would have been maybe $2,000 tops, like the week before the hurricane, that doesn't sit well with me.
No.
Yeah. That is just flat out taking advantage, and I don't have tolerance for that.
No, we just bought a dishwasher. This dishwasher should not have cost more than $400 some, and it was $750. It's not that great.
Wait a sec. What
$700 for a good dishwasher?
Hang on.
No, it's not a good dishwasher.
Hang on. Hold on to that thought. Wait a sec. I'm trying to figure out how you're equating an appliance to the hurricane.
Because people are buying appliances. Hello.
Hold on a minute. From a reputable place, that shouldn't happen. I want to hear your dishwasher story when we get back.
I got a better one than that.
It is. So you're going to top your own story?
I'm going to top my own story.
You're going to top you're going to top yourself?
I can top myself as easily as I can top you guys.
All right, hold on. I want to hear all this from Roxanne next on the MJ Morning Show. Also, we'll talk about gas lines, and gas lines have really eased. So I want to hear if there are any issues, because more and more stations are coming online. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Also, we're going to start easing into some normalcy. I have other material today. As you're trying to find the right time to ease back into like normal programming, because we were just in flat out hurricane mode for the last week or so. All right, 6:32 at the MJ Morning Show. So Roxanne, I'm looking forward to your yammer in the next segment. So hang on, heads up for that. Hey, weather tight wind. Morons in the news here, and I was do I do morons? I do have a couple of good morons in the news stories today, so we are going to kind of weave and swerve back into some normal programming, and I think we're going to make a little bit of more of a pivot today here on the MJ Morning Show. All right, so if you were just listening moments ago, you brought up a dishwasher?
Yeah, Doug had to buy a new dishwasher yesterday. I'm just regurgitating what he says to me. Maybe he's just being complainy, but he said it was
complainiac?
A complainiac. He said it was $750, and he's like, "This isn't even a good dishwasher. These dishwashers are crap." And but he had to,
you can buy dishwashers for as little as like $350. So why didn't he buy it? Is this for one of the rental properties?
No, this is for us.
Hold on.
Yes.
Well, you want to put a good dishwasher. You don't want to do a low end.
That's what I'm saying. And it was $750.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is not out of line for a decent dishwasher.
Whatever. I have to ask him the brand. Whatever it was, he's like, this isn't even a good brand. He said it would normally be $150 less.
So wait a minute. Why would you put not a good brand in your house? This is like, it makes no sense to me.
All right, we're looking for a new dishwasher. You got any jalopies left?
It sounds like you went shopping with a head injury. What What? Wait a
All
minute.
all I know is our dishwasher stopped working. Okay, and I said,
Was it hurricane related or
No,
completely un-hurricane related?
unhurricane related.
You should file a FEMA complaint with the dishwasher.
My dishwasher had all kinds of water in it, you know? All right. So what brand? You don't know?
I don't know. I think it's a
Is he awake
GE.
now or with the girls out of school still? Is he
No, they're
probably
sleeping.
Is he so Doug's drooling on the pillow
Oh,
right
he
now?
is drooling on the pillow right now. But yes, 100%. Yeah, so he's not up. But I'll tell you, I'll top that dishwasher story.
Well, hold on.
That's-
I'm not done with the dishwasher
it's
yet.
just a comment.
So far, there's no story.
He was complaining about the price of a 700. I thought he said it was an Icon or something like that. That's not even a brand.
What is he buying? Like made up brands?
Are you going to the store and buying store brands? Like
Yeah.
Best Buy has their own brand.
Yeah, we bought Jimmy's.
Yeah.
I got Jimmy's dishwasher. It just says Jimmy on it.
I mean,
I don't know.
there's a guy not too far from my place up in Lutz on Nebraska Avenue
What is
that
it?
has an open lot, and he keeps the appliances out there
What
no
does he
matter
do?
what the weather.
Used appliances?
Yeah, you could probably get
Wait a minute.
dish-
Hold on. So there are fridges and washing machines just sitting out in the rain?
Have you never been to Nebraska Avenue?
Of course.
Between Fletcher and Sly?
Of course
There's all
I've been on
kinds.
Nebraska Avenue.
It's the most amazing drive in town. There's everything there.
I've been. Yes, I have.
But there's a used appliance shop
But
where
he's got like a lean-to over it, right? He's got a shed over it.
I don't know. I mean, he has a lot of inventory. But okay, so $700 for a residential.
$750.
Okay, $1,000 is in play for
Well-
a reasonable home.
Not when we get to the next part of the story.
Okay.
Well, but listen, dishwashers range. Like, Fester, just go to Lowe's or Home Depot's
Lowe's.
website.
Home.
Go to Home Depot or Lowe's.
Home.
All
When
right.
you hear the next part of the story, you're going to understand why my husband is in a penny pinching mode right now.
Oh.
So $750 dishwasher is not making him
HomeDepot.com.
happy.
This weekend at the Home Depot, get a dishwasher for $350,
DISH
not $750.
dishwasher.
Head wound Doug. Come get a better deal on a
All right,
dishwasher
so we're looking
at
at
Home Depot.
built-in dishwashers, right?
Yeah, no, I'm going to have a standalone
I
in the
don't
middle
know.
of the kitchen.
I don't trust anything.
All right, so hold on a minute. Look at this. I'm looking at Home Depot right now.
Wow.
Here's a $398 for a dishwasher, $428 for a dishwasher.
Then I hope he got us a good one
Hold on,
because
what brands are these?
Okay, Whirlpool,
Okay.
Maytag, GE.
GE. All right, so you can get there's a Whirlpool for $398.
I guess I trust that
Can
brand.
you sort by price, like the cheapest thing?
I
filter.
Sort by top sellers.
No, by price.
Right, I'm telling you the options. Most popular, price, low.
Price low to high.
Low to high.
That's what you
There
want.
we go.
So filter that out. $298. Look at this. What is that? A Frigidaire. You can get a Frigidaire dishwasher at a Home Depot for $298.
I've heard of that company, right?
Yeah, of course. GE. Here's one for $328. But I don't have a problem paying $750 for a dishwasher. I mean, this is something you use like.
He was not happy about it. He said it was more than it should have been.
All right, Home Depot has 12 different options at $404 or less.
Well,
And every brand I think I've heard of, GE,
Yeah.
Samsung, Honeywell.
so are you telling me we should have gotten the $400 one, or is MJ saying we should have spent more on it because it's our home dishwasher?
I'm just saying,
confused.
first of all, there's a lot of options out there in that price point.
Well, Doug was not happy with paying the $750.
You know what? I want to talk to him about this damn dishwasher.
Did they install it?
I'm sure they're going to come install it. Yeah, they are. It's not. It
But
hasn't arrived
do you
yet.
know where he bought it?
I'm pretty sure he bought it at Home Depot. I'm pretty sure.
Well, there are many options. If I called him now, would he be awake?
No, he's not going to wake up. And he's okay. Let me tell you the next part of the story.
All right, here's the one-up part.
All right, so
The
now,
one-up-
now
I'm gonna one-up
you're
this-
going to one-up
yeah.
yourself.
This was just a comment. This wasn't even a story. It was just, wow, dishwashers are expensive.
We all know a one-upper. All right, go ahead.
So right before Helene came along, we had a house near you, MJ, and we had a renter who was going to be in there until at least January.
What
because,
house do you have near me?
Just down the street. I forget. I'm not going to name the street.
Is it
but
in my
it's-
neighborhood?
It's not in your neighborhood, but it's within 2 minutes of you. Like
Okay.
it's close by.
All right.
So, like off of West Shore?
Okay.
Yes,
Roxanne,
off of West Shore on the water.
Waterside.
A tiny bit further south, but very close. And so that house was being rented by a Buccaneer. and he was going to be in there till January. You can ask me his name. I have no clue. I can't even name 2 players: Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans.
Okay, well,
and
what's the point?
Leonard Fournette. In other words, I don't know which
Leonard Fournette doesn't play for the Bucks anymore.
I'm kidding. So,
in fact, he just had his dishwasher repossessed.
You could have got Leonard Fournette's old dishwasher.
Exactly.
That would have been
he
great.
did not. He's still maybe because he's tipping so big.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
it was AB. Antonio Brown had his dishwasher repossessed.
Dude, how awesome would it be, MJ? You come over as he see that dishwasher.
All right. So what's the deal?
So this guy right before Helene, the Buccaneers said, we're going to scoop you up and take you to a nice hotel and everything's going to be fine during the hurricane. And sure enough, it was a good thing they did that because that house is toast.
Hold up. What road is it on?
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say.
You can just tell me.
No, I'll tell you off air.
Listen,
but it's I'm not going to say on air. And
so why not?
Because Doug will get mad at me. He's like, I don't want my business.
A bunch of the houses in that neighborhood got. Yeah. And you said, MJ,
listen,
ones that are a little older and not built up to new specs.
In my neighborhood, I'm heartbroken for all the people.
Yeah.
Hey, we had 2 people around the corner from me, 2 older houses. They bailed already. Did I tell the story? They already sold.
Yeah.
Did I tell the story on the air yesterday?
I don't think you did on the air. No.
Did I not? So right around the corner from me, there are 2 older houses, like maybe late 60s, early 70s. And these are the single story, the Florida, small ranch type houses that were built on grade. I mean, literally, if you've got to step up 1 inch from the walkway up the yard to the lip to the front door, the threshold, if you got to walk up 1 inch, that might be a lot. So those homes had like 3 feet of water in those homes. And listen, that's been repeated all over the Tampa Bay area. And I'm heartbroken. I'm sick to my stomach over what's happened to so many people. But there are 2 people right around the corner from me, 2 houses right next to each other, older houses. There is the third house in is a mega house that's being built up. It's a modern, like 3 stories. And the builder of that house, I heard, already bought those 2 houses that those people wanted out. Right. And just for the dirt.
I mean,
one sold for $2 million and the other one sold for 1.8. I mean, right around the corner. Wow. That's just the lots.
Yeah.
And those people just said, hey, we've had it. The homes are damaged. We're going to cash out. And they took the money and they ran.
Oh, yeah. So this house, I'll find the address for you. You see, Doug code names all of his houses. So like he refers to this as like the gangster's house, but I can't. So we don't even call them by streets. We call them by, we name them all. We name them all. Well, Doug does. And
this is the
who lived there before?
I don't know, but it was an adorable house. But anyhow, Helene, it was on the water, and Helene did a doozy on that.
Did Suge Knight rent this place or something? I mean, was it a gangster's house?
It was P. Diddy.
Yeah. They call that the freak off house.
It's the first.
Yeah, P. Diddy's like, where do I put all the baby oil?
That's the freak off. That was the west coast of Florida storage facility for the baby oil and lube. Was Roxanne and Doug's rental house.
No, nothing salacious going on there.
Well, just south of me is Culbreth Isles. So is it south of Culbreth?
Right, MJ, let it go. Come on.
We're getting into the minutia. It's the gangster's house. That's all I can tell you. I'll look it up.
Gangster's house.
But you know what? I just remembered another story to top this story. A friend of mine on Bayshore last night got, again, some of those houses on Bayshore were just destroyed in Helene, right?
Absolutely.
Right on Bayshore. Beautiful houses.
Yep.
And they didn't get it as much during Milton, but guess what? Last night, and they didn't even lose their power.
What?
But last night, they were working on something down there, and an oak tree fell on a transformer, yes, and blew the whole street. So now this big, huge portion of Bayshore doesn't have power.
So they had power.
Had power.
And then an oak tree precariously perched and then fell over and took out a whole line?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, 6:52 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. I want to know more about the gangster house. I want to know more about this damn dishwasher.
I never want to consult Doug about buying appliances.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly.
Every house has a story to tell.
I mean,
you know what? I think he's an appliance idiot.
I mean, the guy has a bunch of houses. I figure I could consult Doug as an expert. Hey, Doug, I'm looking for this, and he would know where to go. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's my point. Maybe they were charging more than they should have.
I'm going to ask a 3-year-old before Doug.
No,
dishwasher
he knows
advice.
stuff.
I don't
He
think
knows.
Home Depot's very happy with Roxanne right now.
But we don't even know if it's Home
No,
Depot.
it wasn't Home
Advertise their
Depot.
prices
But
online.
It wasn't Home
you
Depot.
can buy a dishwasher
That's a
from $350 to like $1,300. You buy a high-end Bosch or an Esco or one of the high-end dishwashers. They're gonna listen. We've got an Esco that's going for 20 years.
What's his name?
Esco. What do you think I said? Asshole. Asshole.
I mean, now I know what to call you when you're washing the dishes.
ASKO. And that dishwasher's been going seriously for like almost 20 years. We had a little bit of New York time in that, but still. But that thing just keeps on going.
I've never even heard of an Asco.
Oh, come on.
I could show you an Asco sitting right in front of me.
ASKO, ASCO. They make washers and dryers.
Oh,
and
you type in Asco, and the first thing that comes up is dishwasher.
yes, it's like a Swedish brand or
Specialty.
something.
Change the letters
It's
a
like
little
from
bit.
Sweden. All right.
Swap out a few letters and a picture of MJ will pop
All
up.
right, 6:54 at the MJ Morning Show. I'm running late. Let me take a quick break here. We start the 7 o'clock hour next, and we're just packed. I want to grab some phone calls coming up in just a bit. Of course, if schools are still closed in many places, and I didn't go through the list, but I'm sure you know if your kids are not going to school today. All right. So if they're just waiting out there until 3 o'clock and the bus hasn't come, there's no school today. All right. All right. 6:54 at the MJ Morning Show. Back in minutes. Hey, you know who's going to take. You know, Barbara Streisand would have no problem paying $750 for a dishwasher. Thought I'd point that out. Hey, before I move on, was there something else that we had teased at the end of last segment that I said, hold on to that thought? Did you have like a third story or something, Roxanne, that you were about to top yourself and top yourself again?
Yeah, I did a tree top. I did a three top.
All
I
right.
did the tree falling on Bayshore and knocking out more power
Gotcha.
for
All right.
people.
Maybe-
That was it. We got through it all.
Maybe that was it.
They're just
All right.
Roxanne's morons in my household.
All right, 7:02 at
Not
the
my husband.
MJ
Me.
Morning Show. So, for the most part, gas lines, I thought we were kind of easing yesterday. So, the stories I'm seeing about the gas lines, those appear to be the state of Florida free 10-gallon gas lines. All right, let me go to phones on this quickly here. 800-990-1047. So, what did you observe yesterday? So wherever you are in the Tampa Bay area, fire up the phones right now, 800-990-1047. Were you able just to pull right in and get gas yesterday? Now, granted, a lot of stations are still closed because of power issues, but what did you experience? So we've had a whole additional day to digest this, but we had a number of calls on yesterday's program here on the MJ Morning Show where people were phoning up and saying, yeah, hey, I just pulled in, filled up like it was a normal day.
Yeah.
But were there huge lines anywhere? Now, and also, did you wait for the free gas? Did anybody actually wait for the free 10 gallons at the multiple locations around the Tampa Bay area? Did you wait for your 10 gallons of free gas? And I got to be honest, I think the state of Florida, I think Governor DeSantis and his team, I think they've stepped up nicely. I think they've, I think they get good marks for the aftermath and the response, to be quite honest. All right, let's go to phones. Phones are ringing. Andrew's screening. Did you have any issues with gas yesterday? Because we took a number of phone calls and people were saying, yeah, it appears to be really, really easing up. And every day, I mean, this is remedial. It's like, duh. But every day that goes by, it's going to get better and better and better. But if you were out in the middle of the day yesterday, we had calls, 6, 7, 8 o'clock yesterday. It's still kind of early. But as the day progressed, did you have any issues with gasoline? Or have you seen the lines totally subsided, normal wait times, or did you experience gas issues? Now, didn't we get a call like out toward Dade City and some of the other places that, maybe some of the outer lying areas that
a little
maybe
further out from Tampa Bay.
Maybe a little longer lines. All right, let's go to phones. 800-990-1047 is how you get on. And again, you, the listener here to the MJ Morning Show, you guys have been fantastic. Because, listen, you're eyes and ears out there. We can't be everywhere. And you're like, MJ Morning Show correspondents. You're like additional members of the show, helping out with material and information. So I highly appreciate that.
You're getting paid about the same for being a member of the show. So thank you.
All right, 800-990-1047. Let's grab Sully in Pasco County. Sully, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello. Sully, you there? Well, Sully phoned in, and suddenly Sully is nowhere to be found.
He's probably trying to land a plane on the Hudson.
Or doing an infomercial for OxyClean.
That too.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let me grab John in Parrish. John, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, MJ and crew. Long-time listener since 2001.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thanks for coming back. So I live in Parrish. Actually, yesterday, even Sunday, I started to see where it was almost like nothing ever happened. We had 2 gas stations near us where we were out of gas like basically every day for 3 days, and they would get one load, and within an hour and a half is gone. And then Sunday evenings, both had stations, both had gas, and it was like 2 cars in line. It was as if nothing happened.
Were these like independent gas stations, or were these the larger?
Yeah, one was a Circle K, one was a 7-Eleven.
Gotcha. All right, so they're 2 like
yeah. And then And then Ron DeSantis was here at a little local restaurant yesterday visiting, and met with some folks here in our area, which was cool. So, like you said, he's definitely been very involved and active in Manatee County for sure.
Did DeSantis take the Thomas the Train ride? Do they still do that
at the train
They
museum?
do.
They still have they still have Thomas the Train in Parrish?
Oh, yeah, and I know you and your family went on it before, at least once. I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, we did. When the kids were younger, we took the kids down to Parrish.
Yeah, it's a huge sellout. It's a huge sellout every year.
Yeah, all right, excellent. Glad to hear that, John. Hey, do you know that Adam Johnson guy?
So funny. We do. We don't know him well, but through kids' schools and just doing some things around in the community, we've definitely bumped into him a few times. So yeah, he was a local celebrity for a bit.
Yeah,
Adam fell off the plate now, but
yeah, Adam Johnson. He was the guy holding and walking out of the Capitol with Nancy Pelosi's lectern.
I mean, this day,
from Little Parrish, Florida, Adam Johnson was the guy carrying Nancy Pelosi's lectern out of the Capitol on January 6th.
While I don't support anything that happened on January 6th, but that is the greatest picture to come from that whole event.
And he's got that bleep-eating grin on and everything.
But I think he's giving a wave and he's walking out.
All right, John, thanks for checking in.
Parrish doesn't always get on the map, but when it does, it's something fun.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks for what you guys are doing. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. All right, Mike is in Tampa. Oh, look, Mike is looking for ice. Hey, Mike, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Welcome.
Hey, MJ. How are you?
We're fine. So Ice Quest is what, nuts?
Yeah, I'm doing the emergency repair and cleanup on 75 and down to the beach, and I've been to 7 places, and there is no ice anywhere in Tampa.
Yeah, the distribution apparently really hasn't occurred yet. The redistribution of ice. I know, and I told the story that on Friday after the hurricane, Publix at 4900 West Kennedy, that's the Publix across from West Shore Plaza. It's kind of a smaller store. They still had a decent amount of bags of ice, on the beer row. They have the freezer next to the beer coolers, and I picked up 2 bags of ice on Friday, and then Saturday I went to go get the 2 more bags, and the cupboard was bare, and at that point nobody had ice, and luckily our power came back on Sunday morning, so the ice maker is cranking out ice again. But listen, I feel for you, Mike. I'm sorry you're having trouble, but the ice distributors, the ice manufacturers, they have not been able to catch up and distribute to all the convenience stores and all of the supermarkets just yet, apparently. Mike, somebody called up the show yesterday, and you've got those like ice machines in the middle of like parking lots. You ever see those things?
Yeah, but I've seen them, and but I just walked out of the West Shore Publix you're talking about. Yeah, they're dead out of ice. Yeah, I've seen those, but I need about 20 bags for all the crews I got.
He has a crew. He's doing road work.
No, listen, I get it. I'll tell you what, Mike, I'm going to put the call out right now. Don't turn your radio off. Keep your radio on. Where are you located right now? Where are you physically calling us from?
I'm at West Shore in Cyprus. I'm over by my office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're right around the corner. All right. So, and here's the deal. If anyone knows in South Tampa, near West Shore and Cypress, West Shore and Kennedy, Kennedy and Dale Mabry, if anybody knows where Mike can get bags of ice for his work crew, and Mike, what do you say you do?
I do heavy and highway. Right now, we're doing the repair work on I-75 from all the washouts from the hurricane.
Gotcha. All right. So Mike needs ice for his road crew. If anybody knows where Mike can get ice right now, please call us up. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Mike, I'm going to hang up on you. Keep the radio on, and if anyone calls up, we'll have the information to you in a minute. Just get ready to go quickly, okay?
Jay, my radio is always on when you all are on.
Hey, Mike, are you a local guy, or are you working for over the road, or how did you come to this?
We've talked numerous times. I'm the one doing the Howard Franklin from West Shore to the Howard Franklin.
Yeah, he's called in the past.
Okay,
yeah.
I know a lot of those guys though travel in for this work.
All right, Mike, we're going to try to find you some ice, so keep listening, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you, buddy. All right, if anyone knows where Mike can get ice for his road crew, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. All right, Patty's in Spring Hill. Hey, Patty, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We're great, Patty. What's going on?
So I just wanted to talk about the gas. I live in Spring Hill, work in Newport Richie, and I literally passed 12 gas stations on my way to work, traveling down 19. 11 of the 12 still have no gas. And remarkably, the one that doesn't have long lines.
Huh. Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you Sunday night, my husband, who does not sleep well, was up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went to the Wawa up on 50 and was able to top our tank off.
So you guys are in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah, and honestly, we prepared really well. We have the extra gas tanks to run the generator if we needed them, but, we kind of make sure that, knowing that I drive to work every day, that I have enough of what I need and I'm not sitting around on the side of the road someplace.
Patty, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Oh, I love you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks. Shani or Shani in Tampa. Long A or short A, Shani?
Hi, MJ. Love the show.
Thanks.
By the way, you guys are great. Hey, so yesterday, I didn't want to run when everybody was needed the gas. I waited for my gas tank to deplete a little bit. So yesterday I was driving around, and on 41 and Palm River Road there, they had all the tanks open. There was nobody there, so I just drove up. And it was they only had premium gas though, so
right.
I was the only car. It was kind of creepy that there was nobody there. I don't think anybody knew it was open.
Yeah, so if you get lucky and you have a gas station that just opens, you might be all alone. But again, we had a lot of reports yesterday that a number of gas stations had gas and the lines were just very manageable, almost like a normal day. Shadi, thanks for the call, and I appreciate you checking in. Alex in Winter Haven. Alex, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, guys. What's up? So during the storm, nobody in Winter Haven had power or fuel. We had to end up driving into, Lake Wales to the pilot, and there was, a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, it's pretty common. We've heard that story around the whole area.
In the aftermath, yes. So what about now, Alex? What is the situation in Winter Haven as we speak?
Oh, there's fuel everywhere. There's definitely places that are still shut down, but the places that are open have fuel.
Yep.
And that's the response.
Yep.
That's what you would expect from the distribution after a couple of days.
Alex, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. John is in Tampa. Might be an ice answer here. John, hi. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning.
What can you tell us about ice for Mike?
Mike, where he's at, probably Walmart at $2.75 and Dale Mabry. Just got a drop yesterday afternoon.
Hold on, Walmart at
275 in Dale Mabry, the one that you go to, the one that's a mess. The Walmart at Interstate.
I'm sorry. You said Walmart. So Walmart. I'm sorry. For whatever reason, I had Walgreens in my head. All right, Walmart at 275 in Dale Mabry. They got a big ice drop.
Yes, yesterday they got about 1,600 bags.
Oh wow! Oh wait a minute. So you're an ice distributor?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is awesome. What's the name of your company?
We are Alpine Ice.
Gotcha. So
we distribute for Ready Ice. They're the biggest manufacturer in the state.
Yep, Ready Ice is a name that I know. Absolutely.
Ready Ice just got their power back online yesterday.
That's why there's a shortage.
Right.
You can't produce it.
All right. So where is the Ready Ice plant? The plant that makes the ice for Ready Ice, John. Where are they located?
In Plant City.
Gotcha.
But don't send anybody to the plant.
No.
Yeah,
don't go to the plant. But I just wanted to know where the stuff was made. All right, but that's good news. That 1,600 bags of ice were dropped off at the Walmart at 275 in Dale Mabry. But you know what's going on here is the bulk of people have power back. And Festa, do me a favor. Remind me when we get back in the next segment. Let's go over the power map because really it's dramatic. The most power has been restored in the state of Florida now. And, Hillsborough County still has the highest number of outages. Hillsborough County got whacked the hardest with the number of outages. But so most people are able to make ice at their house now. So the pressure is somewhat off. But you got Mike with road crews that, they need bags of ice. John, that is great information. I appreciate it.
Well, it's rolling out as fast as we can right now, but it's going to be a long process.
How long do you think all the stores, all the convenience stores that you guys distribute to, how long do you think before things are normalized and ice is in all those, coolers outside the convenience stores, et cetera?
I'd say by the end of the week.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's not bad.
It could be 80%. It's hard to say. We go to people who don't have power, so you can't really do anything.
I appreciate it. Thank you, John.
Okay.
All right, thanks. All right, if you're on hold, I got Cheryl, Philip, Alex, and more. If you're on hold, hang on a minute, because I don't want to get too late here. I gotta grab a quick break, and then we start the hour and 20 minutes nonstop MJ. So if you're on hold, you want to hang on, we'll go back to phones in a minute. 800-990-1047. So right back to phones and the long segment. Oh, we got to talk about the latest on the Trop roof. Did you hear about this?
What happened?
All right, well, hang on. There's a couple of developments on the Tropicana Field roof getting blown off. The tarp. People are selling pieces of that on eBay. Did you know that?
Man, I'm looking for a piece.
Own a piece of they're on eBay right now.
I don't want to buy one. They're in somebody's front yard.
Yeah, I mean, you just drive around and find a piece of the Trop roof.
Do that.
Now, there's interesting news on the Tropicana Field roof. All right, hold on a minute. Back in seconds or minutes on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. Westfall Roofing is. All right, if you're on hold, hang on. Go back to phones here in just a moment. A lot of people concerned about the stingrays at the tank at Tropicana Field.
Tank, and they end up eating pieces of the roof.
No,
I mean, I'm worried about them.
They're okay. The infield flooded. It's okay. They were just like swimming around from base to base. They're totally fine.
No, they were in the tank,
Yeah,
right?
they were in the tank the whole time.
But the stingrays have been moved to apparently the Florida Aquarium.
Yeah, they're relocated there.
Yeah, the stingrays from the Trop, they have been moved to the Florida Aquarium in downtown Tampa. A stingray rescue crew rolled in.
How do you get that job?
Steve Irwin wanted to be part of it, but he didn't make it.
He should have been playing with these kind of rays instead of that big old manta ray down in Australia.
I don't think it was a manta ray.
What kind of ray was it?
No, it was a regular stingray. I thought manta rays.
It was like a 6 foot wide ray.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the ones you pet at Tropicana Field.
Right. But a manta ray. I just went diving with manta rays in Indonesia back in February, and those things are the size of like a house. Those things are massive. These things.
Yeah, it was just a regular stingray, is what I found.
Yeah,
Buster.
I thought
Really?
I thought it was like a regular. It wasn't like a manta ray. Manta rays are the size of a like they could be like 30, 40 feet. They could be huge.
I thought it was like an enormous one.
No,
Not just
I don't
some
think.
little.
Look, pierced in the chest by a short-tailed stingray during the filming of Ocean's Deadliest. Man, name of that show really panned out, didn't it?
Some people say it may have been an Australian bull ray, but most are going with the short-tailed stingray.
All right, so do not fear for the stingrays. They have been removed from Tropicana Field, from the stingray tank, and they've been moved to downtown Tampa to the Florida Aquarium. All right, there's more on the Trop. The whole roof fiasco, and I saw something stunning. I only saw this from one source, and I'm wondering if they just kind of extrapolated and then adjusted for inflation based on an old number. All right, what is this stunning roof update on Tropicana Field and the whole roof getting blown off?
What, how much it costs to replace it?
Hang on, get to that in a second.
Okay.
Let me clear a couple of phone calls here, and then we're going to go into a. Oh, you know what? I didn't get into like the power grid story. Also, remember I had somebody I know talked about. I forgot to get into it. I mentioned it. I teased it yesterday. I didn't get into it, but there's an interesting little. Oh yeah, we don't lose power. We're on a certain grid, and how did that work out? I'll explain that in just a second. Cheryl is down in Sun City Center. Hey, Cheryl, what's up?
Hello?
Hey,
Are you
Cheryl.
there?
Hey, welcome, Cheryl. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to let folks know my husband's on day 3 now working at the Al Lopez Park on 4810 North Himes, and they are handing out ice, FEMA water, tarp, MREs, and such. They worked till 8 o'clock last night, so I'm assuming that's the same today.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much,
Well,
Cheryl.
hold on. So if Mike is listening, the guy who needed ice for the crew,
but hang on, I got a better option. I just checked the text.
Oh, okay.
My lawn technician, who's been with us for like 17 years, Robbie, our lawn guy, just sent me a text that there's an ice machine. Mike, if you're listening, Robbie just sent me a text that there's an ice machine on Southdale, Mabry, and Iowa that's working.
That's south of Gandy.
It's south of Gandy, so that's a SOG ice machine. So south of Gandy, there's an ice machine at Southdale, Mabry, and Iowa. So, Mike, if you're listening for your road cruise, that's where you can get some ice, apparently. That machine is working, man. We're getting tons of phone calls. Let's see. Joe Gonzalez, Joe the plumber.
Yeah, of course.
Just sent me a text that he's going to Anna Maria this morning to do some work. Do I want some pictures? Oh, absolutely. From Anna Maria. Some of the barrier in Manatee and like around Bradenton, some places just got squashed. And then around Siesta Key, some of the damage. I mean, like buildings knocked off foundations from Milton. Just unbelievable. All right, let me clear 2 more calls here, and then we'll go back to the Trop story and the roof, which I got to get to the bottom of this. Sherry on Treasure Island. Listen, parts of Treasure Island got hammered. Sherry, how are you on Treasure Island?
Actually, we're doing well. We're holding up. But we would like to know where we could get breakfast at that is not serving limited items.
Oh.
So, all right, you asked 2 questions there. I mean, I don't know that any restaurant on Treasure Island has the full menu right now. But,
well, St. Pete, Tyrone area.
So, I mean, it depends what you're looking for. I mean, I've seen I've seen a bunch of different fast food restaurants that are back up and running.
Right.
I mean, if you're looking for a McGriddle, I can probably give you 40 locations. In
Listen,
St. Petersburg.
Michelle and I, and this was during our power outage on Sunday morning, we ventured out to First Watch on West Shore. So the First Watch, the new one on West Shore, we ventured out there, and they had a full menu. They had an absolute full menu, and it was fantastic, man. I got the pesto quinoa bowl at First Watch, which was phenomenal.
There's some good bowls there.
I can't wait to go back and get that pesto quinoa chicken bowl again because it was tremendous. It was fantastic. So, Sherry, listen, the further you venture out from Treasure Island, I think you're going to have better options right now.
Yeah, me too.
All right, good luck. One more call, then I got to just get into our pile of stuff. Alec in Brooksville. Alec, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. What's up?
Hey, I heard about that lady talking about gas stations, no gas in Spring Hill. I don't know how far up she was driving, but there's plenty gas stations open in Spring Hill. Wawa is one of them, which she was talking about. And then down the road, Mariner and 50, there's a Circle K. There are plenty of gas. There's another 7-Eleven down the road, Barclay and 50. There are plenty of gas there, no wait. No line or nothing.
All right, so you're seeing plenty of places right now at 7:30 in the morning that have gas and there's no line.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, right now I'm on 75 and State Road 50 with a racetrack.
Yep.
I see maybe total of cars and trucks, maybe about 8 of them. It's plenty gas and plenty spaces to pull up and fill up. No problem. This is right here on 75 and 52.
All right. Thank you very much.
So,
good report, Alec.
See, the anxiety is gone. When you see 2, 3, 4 closed gas stations, you start thinking, holy crap. These are. But now, if you keep driving a little bit further, you'll find a gas station.
All right, the Rays story. Let's dive into. I just got so much stuff. I got a whole pile here. The power grid story, the rumor, the myth, the legend about a certain power grid that supposedly will never go down. Did it go down? I've been hearing about this for years from a very good friend of mine about a certain power grid never goes offline.
The
Why?
legend. Why?
There's a reason. Hang on, I'll get to that in a second. First, though, Tropicana Field.
Yes.
I've only seen this in one spot, and I saw this yesterday. The Sun. So the U.S. Sun, of course, the Sun is a London tabloid, and they have the U.S. version, just like the Daily Mail is a British newspaper, and they've made a big splash over the last decade here in the United States with their Daily Mail U.S. edition website. Listen to this headline from thesun.com. Tampa Bay Rays may be moved next season with staggering $39 million expected to fix the roof. They're saying it's going to be a $39 million cost to fix the roof, which might not be far off. I have not, listen to this, I've not seen this in any of the local media. I haven't seen this on any of the local TV station websites or news shows. I haven't seen this in the Tampa Bay Times. But the reason why this might be close.
Where are they going to play next year?
Well, I've got the options. Then there's a list with the roof ripped off the Tropicana Field. The question is, if you're rebuilding this new stadium, which again I still have issues with the location.
I mean, do the Rays ever play a game in St. Pete ever again?
Yes, because they're going to build a new stadium. The new stadium
Until the stadium is built, are they going to play another game in St. Pete?
That's the question.
Or are they going to bar the field at Northeast High School?
Hold on a minute. Let me go through the options.
We'll pack the stands there.
So the new stadium is set to open up in what, 2028?
Right.
Is what the word is. So do you put $39 million into a new roof for only a couple of seasons, 3-4 seasons, when the place is going to be demoed anyway? The place is going to be demolished. So here's the deal. The U.S. Sun is saying that the roof cost to replace that roof is going to be $39 million.
Sounds about right. I mean, it costs $1 billion or more to build a stadium.
Yeah, that might not be far off.
But here's the deal. Apparently, back in 1990, when the roof was built, remember they built the ballpark hoping that a team would come here, and they didn't?
Build it and they will come.
And they didn't come for a long...
The White Sox didn't come.
Yeah,
the A's didn't come. The Giants didn't come. And then we had to get a team in the expansion.
If you build it, they will come. No, they didn't come.
They didn't come for years.
It was, 8 years later, right? We got the Rays in 90... Was it 98? 97, 98?
98,
yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah.
Right.
Late 90s?
The first season was 98. So that stadium was around for 8 years before all it saw was a little bit of lightning action in the weird lightning action, and then home shows.
The home shows? I think the Storm played there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
and,
so.
The Lightning played there for a couple of years. And
I watched an exhibition basketball game.
I went to the
there you go.
SPIFs, the St. Petersburg International Folk Fair at Tropicana.
I remember Spitz.
Yes, right.
That's right.
That folk fair.
All right, now here's the deal. Back in 1990, I don't know if I mentioned the number yet. It was reported that back in 1990, this Teflon-coated fiberglass material, the roof cost $23 million back then. So maybe they're getting a $39 million number with, just the rate of inflation? Just extrapolating?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not exactly how durable goods work.
Well, listen, the roof was well beyond its life cycle.
Yes.
The roof had a life cycle of about 25 years. And we're well past that.
Oh, my God. I said that on Monday. I was like, Friday.
It's almost 35 years.
Yeah. They should have replaced it 10, 15 years ago.
They should have. It's almost 35 years. The roof is the roof is well past.
The roof has expired.
There you go.
The roof is expired.
We don't have a warranty.
Okay,
The mother bleepers on 275.
Only one lyric on that song. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, only one verse.
But that's the deal. So do you put money into I mean, this is a serious question.
Yeah, it really is.
This is a serious dilemma. Do you put tens and tens of millions to put a new roof on for only a couple of seasons when you're going to be bulldozing the place anyway?
Yeah, it's retractable now, and we're just always in the open mode. We always wanted a retractable,
So,
right?
First of all, is there no way for the Rays to play in this open air stadium?
Well, the problem is that you have drainage issues. With
Oh.
stadiums, when the
Yeah.
rain comes in, you have drainage. You account for a stadium that is wide open. Water drains. The problem with the Trop is that there's no drainage with the it is. You've got no built-in drainage with no roof.
Would it be less to call Gonzalez Plumbing
There you go.
to put
There you
a
go.
couple of pipes in the outfield and maybe one or two around the
Can we
base?
add a couple of drains?
Just a couple of drains, couple of lines.
Yeah.
You know, like a shower drain.
A couple of PVC lines.
You put one of those Zern drains in, that you see in like the bathroom floors at a gas station. I always look at Zern.
Z-U-R-N.
Z-U-R-N. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
It's like a brass fitting, a brass drain. Yeah, we'll get Gonzalez Plumbing out there to put those in.
But is it less than $39 million to make the stadium functional without a roof?
Yeah, is there some way?
I don't know how they can retrofit drainage. I don't know.
The stadium looks
and then
awesome.
imagine the number of rainouts you're going to have.
Yeah,
that's true. In the summertime.
If they played with no roof, the number of rainouts, you'd be dealing with dozens and dozens of rainouts.
Oh, the humidity in the summer, that place will be a cooker. I
Oh.
love it.
Oh, it was rough. Like just walking into the stadium in the afternoon. Yeah.
The Yankees won't stand a chance.
So what do you do? So the Teflon-coated fiberglass roof, which was torn off, it was supposed to be able to withstand 115-mile-an-hour winds. And that's when it was new. So, but it's degraded.
Right.
I mean, you know what happens to material. Look at your lawn furniture. You got cushions on lawn furniture.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at when that sits out for a couple of years in the Florida sun. What happens to your lawn furniture cushions that are outside? It'll like disintegrate in
Yeah.
your hands after a while.
Yeah, a little weathered.
So I got to be honest. The fact that did anyone even notice that this roof was well past its expiration, its useful life?
I guess I never thought of it, but I don't work at the stadium. MJ, okay, so there's 4 more seasons, right? Well, 25, 26, 27, 28.
Seems that way,
So
yeah.
4 more seasons. If you extrapolate it like that, it's $10 million a year. In the world of baseball, $10 million a year is not a lot of money.
Is MLB going to come save the day?
In the world of baseball and the organization I mean, it's not that much.
Here are the options where the Rays could play. This is what's being floated around. The Charlotte Sports Park.
That's where they spring train.
Yeah, so Port Charlotte, where the Rays play spring training, is that going to be an option? Capacity only like 7,500.
Wasn't the Charlotte Sports Park devastated in Ian?
I don't know.
So they just rebuilt a lot of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Another option is Disney's Wide World of Sports.
Okay.
Because they've got a nice stadium out there. And that's a really nice facility. So the Disney Wide World of Sports facility is really, really nice.
I think the Braves spring train there.
Yeah,
right?
they do. I feel like who else got their stadium destroyed? Was it Minnesota?
Well, the Minnesota Twins, the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome.
That's right.
Back years ago,
that was when the Vikings were playing there. The Twins were long gone.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Okay, but they lost their roof as well.
Yeah. Due to snow.
Yeah, it caved in because of snow.
Is there video of the Trop getting ripped open?
Yeah,
of course.
Dude, Channel 28 had a camera on a building's balcony. ABC Action News has video of the roof, like all flagging as it was just after it had blown off.
I saw that video. Is there a camera inside?
Oh,
remember when the Metrodome collapsed? There was that awesome video of like the field being green, poof, then white.
All right, so Disney Wide World of Sports over in Kissimmee area, Lake Buena Vista. That's a possibility. Al Lang Stadium.
Yeah, there you go. I was just going to say, what about old Al Lang?
No.
Al Lang is a possibility.
Al Lang's a soccer field now.
And the Rays already own. That's where the Rowdies play.
The Rowdies play there, but the Rays used to do their spring training
the
there.
Rays own the Rowdies.
Right.
So that might be the best option. Al Lang seats 28 people. So no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, attendance is 100%, boss.
It's 7,500 seat sports stadium.
7,227 to be exact. So Al Lang can hold 7,227. So you talk about an intimate Major League Baseball. Hey, guess what? They'd have a sellout at every game.
Yeah, they would.
They're not going to play it.
Hey, Rays, you want to sell out? You go to Al Lang. You'll easily sell out 70. I'd hope they would sell out 7,200 seats.
You know what? I mean, Orlando doesn't look like a bad option. It's some beautiful facilities at the Disney complex.
The other folks, right off Del Mabry, right across from Ray J.
Steinbrenner Field?
Yeah, so
there you go.
Steinbrenner Field will be an option for the Rays as well. That's a possibility.
Yeah, you think the Steinbrenner family's going to let them cover up those Yankee symbols?
The capacity is 11,026.
Yeah, that's a bigger spring training park.
It's the biggest in Florida. So Steinbrenner Field is the largest spring training complex in the entire state of Florida. So you'd have 11,000. That might be an option.
And that seems consistent with what the Rays draw right now.
Well, I'll tell you what do you think their average attendance was last year? I pulled up the number.
For the Tampa Tarpons?
No, the Tampa Bay Rays.
For the Rays.
Yeah.
I mean,
average attendance for the Rays was 15,912.
You're really close, MJ. According to ESPN.com, it is 16,515.
Dude, I just won the Price is Right
Yeah.
Showcase Showdown.
You know what?
Without going over.
Steinbrenner Field would keep them in Tampa, right? It would. There's plenty of parking with Raymond James right across the street. So that's a great option as well.
Yeah. I won the Showcase Showdown. I was almost close enough to win both showcases too.
What about the Phillies Park up in Clearwater? Is that one too?
Yeah, the issue, Al Lang might make sense. Steinbrenner Field, but then you'd have to coordinate with the Tampa Tarpons, the Yankees, organization. So
they seat 10,000 fans.
Yeah. Hard Rock Stadium, could that be a possibility? The old, Joe Robbie
in Miami.
Yeah,
right next to the Marlins.
Yeah, listen, I'm just going.
Boo.
Yeah, you're gonna talk about nobody wanting to go to. Nobody goes to Marlin games.
Yeah, that's a big dud.
I'm just going through. Hey, or Andrew just said, hey, they can really go to Montreal this time.
That's right. Play half their games there during the rainy season here in Tampa. Open air it here at the beginning of the season, and then head to Montreal.
Yeah.
Andrew just said something that might have a little bit of teeth to it.
You think so?
I mean, that stadium's not built, and it's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a reasonable amount of problems. This is Montreal, or doesn't the Rays have the minor league team in North Carolina, Andrew?
Listen,
in Durham, doesn't Charlotte want a team really bad?
I want the Rays to stay here.
Absolutely.
But I've been very clear that I don't think building a new stadium in downtown St. Pete, right next to the Trop, that's not the answer. And and that is the plan that's been accepted. And listen, I would love for the Rays to stay in St. Pete. The Derby Lane area, you got plenty of land around there. So that would be much better, much more conducive to drawing people from all around the Tampa Bay area if you would do around Derby Lane. Or, the problem is it's downtown St. Pete. It's just a lot tougher to get to for a lot of the Tampa Bay area. And you can build the nicest complex, but you're going to end up suffering. There's going to be a honeymoon period where people are going to flock there, and then it's going to dwindle. Then the numbers are going to suffer from attrition, and you're going to be in the same boat where you're desperately trying to put people in the park. And that's why geographically, I have never been on board. And Fester, I see what you're saying. Could this cause second doubts or second thoughts about the new stadium in downtown St. Pete?
Yes.
Let's say they put it in Steinbrenner Field. And let's say people are going to the Rays games that have never really attended regular games ever from Pasco County or from, you name it, the greater Tampa Bay area, like the Raymond James Stadium draws. And they draw from all over Central Florida.
Okay, this reminds me of a theme. I saw it in a movie. It was more eloquently put, but basically, if you have this big decision to make in life and you hold off on it, you don't do it, and you don't do it, eventually fate makes that decision for you.
Or you die.
Yeah, this is kind of what that feels like. Even though we've made the decision to build it and have it for 2028, it feels like that. Like we've been pondering it for so long. What's going to happen with the Rays? What's going to happen with the Rays? Well, now something major happened that forces that hand.
Yeah. The stadium opened up, the Tropicana Field now, as it's known, opened in 1990.
It's always been known as Tropicana Field.
An engineer, was it
No,
always?
no,
it was not.
the
It was not.
Thunderdome at first.
Yeah, it was the
Florida
Thunderdome.
Suncoast Dome.
Yeah,
Florida
Suncoast Dome. All
Then
right.
the Thunderdome,
All right.
then Tropicana.
Then Tropicana Field. All right, so here's the deal. The roof has never been replaced. 34 years, and that roof was never replaced. According to David Campbell, a principal engineer at Geiger Engineers, the group that installed the roof for the stadium in 1990, said the Teflon-coated fiberglass, the service life is approximately 25 years. They are almost 10 years past the service life. What could possibly go wrong?
Right. Hey, MJ, you know how there's that guy at every company? We don't even have to say his name here. We know who it is here, who looks around and goes, this is going to fall apart. This is on his last legs.
Who's that?
I don't know.
She's talking about
me?
She's talking about you.
Me? Oh, me.
So,
I guarantee you there were some people at Tropicana Field walking around going, there was some engineer, there was somebody going, this roof, it's going to expire pretty soon.
no, I bet you there was nobody saying that, and they're thinking in the back of their head, we're getting out of this hole pretty soon. We just got to make it 4 more years. Oh, wait, there goes the roof.
All right, I just got confirmation just a moment ago. Just got confirmation. State of Florida Chief Financial Officer and Fire Marshal Jimmy Petronas, who was live in studio just, like 10 days ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. After Helene, Jimmy Petronas will join us on the phone at 8:15 and warn us about the scams. There's just a ton of scams going on. You got to be careful. Oh, the dump and go bandits. You know about the dump and go lawn bandits, the drop-off bandits? Oh, they're cruising my neighborhood. And I actually had a confrontation with one. You know what they're doing? They're going to people's yards and saying, hey, we'll clean out your yard. A couple of $100. We'll clean it all. We'll take it away. And then they just dump it in a pile down the street. So you got to be careful. What are you laughing at? It's not funny.
It's not funny, but it's brilliant.
You got these debris drop bandits that are cleaning up people's yards, and they need to be taking the debris to the landfills or the appropriate drop-off points for debris. And I caught these two guys in a blue Dodge Ram pickup truck with California plates. And they were going through my neighborhood, and they were filling up the back of the pickup truck. And then I saw them down the street, like throwing the stuff off in somebody else's pile on the side of the street. And I'm like, you can't do that. And well, we're just fixing some stuff. I mean, no, you're not. I'm watching you dump the crap out of your. So I know the people whose house they worked on, and then they're driving like right down the block and just dumping the crap in the street.
I mean, they did promise to move the pile, and they did.
All right, Fester. I know that you're Mr. Scamtacular.
It sounds
all right?
like reputable businessmen from California coming in.
No, it's not. It's the debris drop bandits that are not doing things the way they should be doing them. All right, on to the power grid myth. Oh, and folks, if you want to get back in, phones are open, 800-990-1047. Any aspect, what is going well for you now? What is not going well for you now? Observations, stories. I mean, everyone has something to tell. If you have anything you want to talk to us about on the air, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. If you want to get in, we'll grab a chunk of calls here in just a few minutes. 800-990-1047 is how you get on. The MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Dennis Phillips is supposed to join us a little bit later on. Let me send Dennis a note.
Yeah, tell him I said hello.
I just want to see what time.
Start it with Fester says hello, please.
Hang on. I'm gonna do voice to text here.
Start it with Fester says hello.
Let me know what time is good for a quick hit, question mark.
Man, come on.
What?
You couldn't say I said hello?
All right, stop it.
Just say, Dennis, Fester says hello.
And let me see if I want to also check in with Paul Delegato.
Tell him I said hello.
You know, Delegato and Fox, they're not our official weather partner. ABC Action News is, and they're phenomenal.
Right.
But Delegato's a longtime personal friend.
Sure.
Yeah.
And because Paul did not have power as of 7 o'clock last night. Hang on, let me send Paul a note.
It's a longtime personal friend of mine.
Hey, Paul, can we give you a quick call, check on your power situation on the show, question mark.
How did that turn out? Because you had some, can we give you, how'd it turn out?
What?
Your voice to text. Did that pick you up just now?
No, it picked up Fester yabbling.
Did it say hello?
Now I have to.
I haven't said hello to Paul in
know.
I had to erase Fester's yabbulation.
Great.
All right, hang on a minute. Paul, can we give you a quick call, check on your power situation on the show?
Fester says hello.
All right. No, it's already on there.
Tell us hello.
You stop. All right, now the power grid myth. And every line is ringing, by the way. If just let it ring, Andrew will get you screened here in a minute. In fact, let me put some of these on hold. All the ones that are ringing, let me just put them on hold for Andrew. All right. So we'll go back to phones in a minute. So the great power grid myth, legend.
Yes, we need some of this music.
In Tampa?
Yes. So what happened with the power grid? Which power grid am I talking about? I'm talking about the MacDill Air Force Base power grid. Running down MacDill in South Tampa. The legend goes, ladies and gentlemen, that power grid will never go off, that it's fortified, that it will withstand hurricane winds, that power grid will withstand hurricane force winds because it needs to supply power to the Air Force Base. Now, I've got friends along there, and I've always heard that those that live right along MacDill have a friend of mine that has an office building, which is a great evacuation site. And a friend of mine's always said, we never lose power. We do not lose power because we're on the same power grid as the main trunks that go to MacDill Air Force Base. So what happened during Hurricane Milton? Did the power grid going to MacDill or the power lines going all the way down MacDill toward the Air Force Base? It was always suggested that those will never go down. They will never lose power. So what happened during Milton? Did power remain on? Did the legend of the MacDill power grid work, or did the legend flop and fail? What do you think? Fester? Roxanne?
I have no idea. But you know
Are
what?
you mocking me in my like A&E documentary voice?
Is that your That sounds like a creepy Halloween voice.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a creepy Halloween voice, totally.
I like to think that where CENTCOM sits, protecting U.S. assets around the whole world.
They have their own power generation. Clearly for emergencies at CENTCOM, they've got fortified bunkers. They've got their own diesel or gas generators. All of the critical infrastructure at MacDill, they're not relying on TECO power lines going down there. Now, granted, a lot of the TECO power lines power the base, but anything critical, they're going to have their own backup power supply and emergency power generation, without a doubt. So what do you think happened, Fester? Did my friend's office building and the houses adjacent right on MacDill, because of the legend of the MacDill power grid, did they lose power or did they keep power during the Milton event?
I think the base is pretty well
Just answer my freaking question.
I think the base kept their power.
Okay.
No, I'm talking
He's
about.
talking about
I think
the
your friend kept the power because if they're on the same grid as the base,
Wrong. Guess. I was going to guess no, they lost it.
Yeah, well, you were right. Okay,
And I was
would you
going to guess that because why else would you be telling the story?
You want me to ding you? I'll ding you.
Ding me, ding
okay,
me.
there you go. Roxanne.
Thank you.
All right.
That's so,
Yeah,
so much better being dinged.
They lost power. So the
Yeah.
legend of the McDill power grid down McDill Avenue. McDill Avenue, is that right? McDill? I always call it McDill. What is it?
McDill Avenue.
McDill Avenue. Yeah,
It's not street.
Yeah. Because it's like I never say. I only say McDill.
Yeah.
So they lost power. His building lost power along there. So the legend of the power grid has been shot to hell.
Ripped to shreds.
Just like the Tropicana roof,
Mm-hmm.
ripped to absolute shreds.
listen, seriously, if anybody has a section of Tropicana Field roof in their front yard, or you found it, I would like a piece, like a 12 by 12 piece, or so, not too much, just a piece, a memento, a souvenir. I've been an above average Rays fan for a long time. Not the best fan.
Hey, remember Kirk? He was a sales guy over at the old radio station.
Nope.
Kirk, good guy. I remember him. He said the Braves now play in Newport now. The Stone Crabs play in Charlotte Sports Park, Florida State League.
Right. That's their minor league team.
Yeah, the Stone Crabs. All right. So
it's always
yes, Kirk was a sales guy, but he always had aspirations to be like a play-by-play guy. So I don't know if Kirk ever achieved those broadcast
Kirk
dreams.
Herbstreit? Yeah, he's doing great. He's on ESPN now.
Who?
Kirk Herbstreit? Is his name Kirk Herbstreit?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not.
I have no idea.
Well, Kirk Herpes? What is
Herbstreit?
Oh.
You don't know. The joke was, MJ, because I know you're not heavily involved in sports.
Listen, I've been
He's a big-time announcer. So I was making a joke. Your friend's name is Kirk.
Yeah,
he did well for himself.
Gotcha.
Get it?
He does Thursday Night Football with Al Michaels. You might have seen that before.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
That's
that's on
Herbstreit.
Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
But he worked with He does work for ESPN
Okay.
and the
College Game Day.
He's a big deal.
guy.
He's a big deal in sports in general.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right, we have a lot to address. The new systems that are out there, and first of all, you got two areas of potential development, and you got some spaghetti models. You've got this Western Caribbean little blob, which has a low chance of development, and if it did, it would probably just keep moving, like over Mexico. And then a lot of people are concerned. We spoke about this. Was it Friday? Some real dingbat. I mean, some total dick. Put up a graphic, an old graphic of a hurricane coming right toward the west coast of Florida, and said, and now Nadine is going to hit.
It looked like the same track as Helene.
It was. I think it was. Somebody put up an old graphic and said, "Oh, and these are the spaghetti models for Helene," and said it's Nadine. No. All right. So what's going on? I'm going to tell you in a second. Let me do Cash Kitty here as we get back to some normalcy.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, it's 8:00 at the MJ Morning Show. Would you like to win $1,000? A lot of people could use some money right now to help out in the aftermath. If you'd like to try to win $1,000 right now, text the word much. That's MUCH. Much. Text the word much, MUCH, right now. Text it nationwide to 45911 before quarter after for a shot at $1,000 cash, or you can enter it on the Q105 app or at myq105.com, so good luck.
Oh.
So the system that could develop, it's now a 60% chance. The Western Caribbean blob, that's got a low chance of development, but there's a tropical wave that's come off of Africa. And this time of year, it's a little bit later in the season, here in October, it's a little odd for these systems to wave off of Africa like this. But you do have a tropical wave that's in the middle of the Atlantic. It's got a 60% chance of development. And, a lot of the spaghetti models are taking it west toward the Caribbean. Some will take it over Puerto Rico, maybe southern Cuba, or even south of Cuba. So Puerto Rico, south of Cuba is one of the paths. I mean, it looks like it's headed west if it does develop. It could go north, but you've got a high pressure that's sitting over us. So at this point, that will probably block it. And none of the spaghetti models take this toward Florida. So that's what's out in the Atlantic right now. But there's nothing imminent. There are no imminent threats right now post Helene and post Milton. All right. We have the story of the guy that was trying to steal a generator running traffic signals locally. We'll get to that in a second. We've got audio from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on that. What a bonehead. What an absolute
body cam footage.
What a jackwagon. So we'll get to that here in a second. Let me grab some calls. I want to thank everyone for hanging. If you want to get in, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. Any comments, questions, observations, your stories to tell. Gina in Venice, closer to the action, down where Milton made landfall around Siesta Key. Gina, welcome to the MJ Morning Show. How'd you fare in Venice? Because you were south. So what was surge like there, Gina?
No, we didn't have any surge, but we still have no power. No power here.
Wow.
Very hot.
Who's your power company there?
FPL.
Yeah, so FPL, no power at all.
No.
But it's
that's
been
okay. I'm so blessed that we didn't get any storm surge. We're so happy about that. I just could not believe that we didn't get any. I really thought we were going to get 15 feet. And now, if I ever buy another house, I don't even care about the square footage. All I care about is the elevation. That's it. From
It's changing our
I want 15 feet or higher.
So that is amazing because the storm rolled in, around Siesta Key, which is what, like 20 miles to your north?
Yes.
And
I thought it went up Venice Avenue myself, but okay.
All right, so you're telling me in Venice you had no surge?
No, we did. No, we did. The jetties, yes. And I mean, my house is close to Epiphany Cathedral, which is kind of more towards Venice Avenue, the inside of the island. But yes, the outside, Sharky's got all storms. Of course it did. And 41 did too, because the tributaries, Donna Bay and those tributaries did overflow.
Well, also all the rainfall. So how much storm surge do you think?
Underwater by 3 to 4 feet.
Say that again?
41, Highway 41.
Right. So how much storm surge? What do you think the storm surge was in Venice?
I think at least 4 or 5 feet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would say so because I saw a mattress floating by.
Oh.
And I mean, yeah, it was deep, but it receded quickly. It did recede quickly.
But it was nowhere near the potential 15 feet that they said, which is, that's miraculous that didn't happen.
It was.
Thank you, Gina. I appreciate the call. Rob in Seminole. Rob, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Go ahead.
All right, so I lost power just like everyone else over here in Pinellas. I live in Seminole. Went out on the 9th at about 10 p.m. Went to report it, showed my neighborhood went up for 450, had 15 people. Look, later on that night, we were 155, 1,500, blah, blah, blah. They came out on Friday, restored everybody around us, including us, but our transformer popped in my backyard.
Oh, man.
I go back to look to report it. They cleared it. They cleared the grid and said it was repaired. I was the first new reporting person. They have reset this grid 4 times since Wednesday, saying my power has been restored, and it has not. And my neighbors and I have to keep reporting. Now I'm at 18 people. We have at least 60 to 70 houses.
All right, so you're telling me they think you're restored, but you're not,
Yeah,
and you have to keep telling them that you're not?
Hearing it. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
I get screenshots every time I report it. It sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. Ugh.
And I'm running out and getting gas, running a generator. I mean, thank God I have that. But, man, it sucks for all my neighbors because everyone around has it, but us, a group right in the middle here.
You're
And
literally
they keep
getting
clearing it.
Yeah, but
You're getting gaslit by the power company.
But I wonder why their system is showing you're restored. I thought they had a really good handle because anytime my power goes out, I get an email from Tico within like a minute. I get an email that says your power is out. Here's estimated restoration time. They know.
I don't even have an estimated return time now. I had it originally. It said 11:59 by tonight. That has been erased because they keep clearing it out. It went from I'm telling you, I've gone up to 1,500 people with no power. I was part of that group. And the people, that's another thing, they repaired it. I have a power station 2 blocks from me. It went on. And this thing, I was cooking out in the front, and my wife was in the backyard. She thought I blew up the propane tank. It was so loud.
Oh, wow.
So I know they heard it when it went off. And you figured they'd come by and say, hey, we'll be out tomorrow. They come out next morning, maybe the day after that. There's nothing. And then I go to report, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Why am I back down to one? Why am I the only person reporting this again?
Yeah, it sucks.
And there's nothing. We have no estimate. Now they're trying to assess what it is before they repair it. I have no idea when I'm going to get my power back up.
Rob, I wish you the best of luck. We're sorry for you, buddy. Thank you for calling, though, and I wish you the best.
Yeah, stop by MJ's house if you want a hot shower.
Doris in Sefner. Doris, hi. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi. First of all, I want to thank the Tampa Bay Times. They got down the road and delivered the newspaper on Sunday. That was really great.
Oh, that's great.
We're having a problem with Tico too. I live on a dead end road, and my neighbor next door, the lady's expecting a baby any day.
Oh wow!
They have power wires down in their driveway. We have a light pole with a transformer which is blown out right between our property, and the light pole is leaning.
Well, you should. Hopefully, you're restored by Thursday. They think that almost everybody will be restored by Thursday. Just, Doris, keep reporting it. And again, we wish you the best of luck, and I really appreciate you phoning in. Thank you. One more, and then I want to talk about this moron that tried to steal a generator. What a bonehead. Mary in St. Pete. Hi, Mary, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, we're doing well. Go ahead.
So I'm in the same boat as the guy that just called in that said, like, everybody around him has electricity, but we don't. We've got about 30 or 40 homes on my block, and we're surrounded by electricity. You can see it, like, I look out my back window. People behind me have it. One block over has it. Everything's lit up but us, and I keep calling it in, and now it's the same situation. I don't have an estimate of when it's going to be restored, and it's never assigned.
Yeah, the volume of what the power companies had to put up with. And unfortunately, it seems that some of these isolated issues are just falling through the cracks, and they're so focused on getting
big communities or big blocks
up and running.
I mean, this might be the process, MJ, where they do the bigger blocks and there's something going on.
But the way neighborhoods are wired, like my neighborhood is screwball. And, if one thing I want to try to fix in my neighborhood in South Tampa, Tico knows there's a problem. And we got a couple of streets that in a strong thunderstorm, the power goes out. And I know that at the Beach Park Homeowners Association meeting in the last year, that Tico was actually there, and they addressed, and they said they know that some of the streets have just, inferior power. And Tico said they were working on fixing it and also putting a lot of stuff underground. So, listen, I wish you the best, Mary. I'm sorry for your troubles.
It's coming down to where we're days away from everybody having power back.
But also in my neighborhood, and I'm sure there are many listening in the same boat, you'll have like one house has power and the next door neighbor's out. It's how these neighborhoods are wired. It's like screwball, and sometimes it doesn't follow like logical common sense, like how things would be wired in series, and it's just weird.
So I know you're going to talk about the guy that stole the generator next.
Yep.
My wife brought up a real problem that I think people are experiencing for the first time. It's generator rage, where if your neighbor has if your neighbor has a generator and you don't, and your window's open, and they build houses now all night long.
Yeah.
They don't hear it because it's outside of their house and your window's open. And, these newer communities, you can 10 feet, these houses seem to be, they're not far apart. I could hear generators 3, 4, 5, 6 houses away in my house, but not right next door. But the rage that people are having, you can't sleep at night because your neighbor has a generator.
Fully understand that. I get it. Absolutely.
It's a real deal.
Because in my neighborhood, with the power out, you hear the generators going.
In the distance, it's like a white noise.
But right next door.
Right next door, and these houses are super close.
And by the way, if you hear the crinkling in the background,
I heard the chewing while I was...
and if you hear the crinkling and the chewing, I never really eat during the show.
Yeah, you aren't either.
I'm eating 2 Rice Krispies treats that Fester found for me somewhere.
Well, so
And the reason why I am famished, I lost 10 pounds.
I knew you were going there. I was just
seriously.
about to say, what do you think? Just because you lost 10 pounds during the hurricane, that you can eat whatever you want now?
I lost 10 pounds, and I'm famished.
So the radio station, before the storm rolled into town, they floated, no pun intended, the idea that a couple of personalities spend the night at the radio station and they would have supplies.
I was going to be one of those. I was going to go.
Yeah, I was curious what they meant by supplies.
Those supplies turned out to be 3 cases of bottled water and 2 boxes of Rice Krispie treats and 1 box of Pirate Booty popcorn. That was the supplies. And we have like a couple of bed-in-a-bag. If you go to our promotion department, we have like bed-in-a-bags, like with the sheet and the comforter and all that they were going to hand out. So as soon as the storm passes, we have 50 Rice Krispie treats in the little kitchenette. So instantly I took half of them and put them in the MJ Morning Show office for our purposes.
Listen, there was even talk about moving a bunch of our staff to Charlotte, North Carolina, to one of our radio facilities, part of Beasley up there.
Really?
Yeah. They were talking about putting some of the personalities on airplanes to go to Charlotte. That was being discussed.
But you don't know where these things are going to go.
Yeah. All right. So this moron tried to steal a generator.
So I've seen a couple of these generators around town.
Yeah.
It runs the traffic signal.
Hillsborough County man has been arrested, accused of trying to steal a generator. What a bonehead. Workers, has he been arrested?
Well, don't they have body cam footage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was arrested. So, Hillsborough County man tried to steal a generator that was powering an intersection. The traffic lights that were damaged during the hurricane. According to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, TECO workers had to step in and prevent the guy from ripping off the generator at the intersection of Sun City Center Boulevard and Stoneham Drive. Yeah, Hillsborough County officials got photos from the TECO workers of the suspected burglar, the thief, and they even got a picture of this moron's license plate, Soyal Zapata Dai. And he was arrested. Deputies arrested him at his home on Sunday, and he was charged with grand theft of the 3rd degree during a state of emergency. And during a state of an emergency, when it's declared an emergency, charges are enhanced.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name?
Soyal, Soyal.
Never heard that name.
Zapata, as opposed to zapato, which is shoe in Espanol.
Isn't a zapata a female shoe?
And then Dye, D-Y-E, or D-Y-E is the guy's name. Hey, here's audio from the incident from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office from the body cam.
We know who you are. You need to come talk to us right now.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good. That's good.
Good.
Soy Chassis Zapata.
Yeah, can you step out for us?
No, I'd rather not. I'm fixing dinner right now.
You do what?
Fixing dinner right now.
Okay, step out.
What's going on?
Put your hands behind your back.
What's going on? What?
You're just being detained real quick, buddy, okay?
Am I under arrest?
You're being detained.
Okay.
Some people might have witnessed you doing some things that we shouldn't have done, okay? And
There's
we're going to walk through it, okay?
There's a generator on 674 that I saw that had no lock on it and it had no name on it, so I thought someone set it out.
Have you just turn out towards me so you can kick off your shoes. I'm going to check your shoes real quick.
Oh, man. So that's the audio of the Hillsborough arrest of the guy. Hey, no, I can't come out right now. I'm fixing dinner.
Yeah, and then he used the finders keepers.
Yeah, that's the defense.
Finders keepers defense.
Oh, and I saw it at the intersection. It didn't have a lock and there was no name on it, so I thought I could just steal it.
No name, like
it's
a parent,
it's running the traffic signal control box.
Yeah.
Roxanne, you can't use the finders keepers unless you use the second half of that.
The no name written on it. Oh, losers weepers.
Losers weepers.
Okay. Unbelievable.
That's what you say in the courtroom.
Yes. Your Honor, our defense is finders keepers, losers weepers.
All right, calling Jimmy Petronas' cell phone right now. Jimmy Petronas is the chief financial officer for the state of Florida and fire marshal.
Hey, it's Jimmy.
Jimmy, MJ Morning Show, Q105, 104.7 FM live. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You've been a busy guy, obviously, with Helene. We had you in studio. Now you're back again with Milton. Hillsborough County, if you look at the map, Hillsborough County, where I live, I'm in Pinellas right now where our studios are, but Hillsborough had the most power outages in the entire state and still remains, while a lot of it's restored, but Hillsborough got hit the hardest power-wise.
Yeah, I tell you, when you haven't had a storm in as long a time as Hillsborough has, you get these trees that become part of your community, and trimming trees sometimes can be controversial, but you had just numerous trees that took out entire grids. So, I mean, this is why vegetation management is important, and if you don't do it, Mother Nature will do it for you. That's what you're up against.
Jimmy, the real reason why I wanted to have you on is I want you to talk about the scams that are popping up and warning people about the scam activity. And you've got people that are just lowlifes that will use situations like this to just prey on people and take advantage.
Yeah, the best deterrent is if anybody approaches your home or your business as a solicitation, just know that they're in it for themselves, not in it for you. I can't stress enough, if you've had a tree on your house, you're going to be targeted, and they're going to say, let me put a tarp on your roof. And then you're starting to the point of, all right, and they'll say, I'll just bill your insurance company. Well, you've got the FEMA, this program's called like Operation Blue Tarp. It hasn't been executed yet, but this is a free tarp service where now this individual who's approached you at your house will say, yeah, I'll put a tarp on your house. Just sign this document. Allow me to bill your insurance company. Now they're going to bill your insurance company $3,500. Yeah. So where you potentially have a free solution, now they've just taken $3,500 out of your pocket that could have gone to rebuilding your house. So these guys do not have your best intentions at heart.
No, there are people that are just low-life scumbags that are just going to take advantage of you when times are tough. When you're down low, they'll kick you, and it's really sad. You also have the scammers that are going through neighborhoods and looking for cash deposits to fix things, and some of these folks, you'll never see them again.
No, I tell people, if you do any transactions in cash, you might as well be setting it on fire. There's almost no way you're going to get a reimbursement solution back from your insurance company. If your first phone call is to your agent or your carrier or to my office, you can't be taken advantage of. I remind people, you have paid your agent a commission for that policy, okay? They have already been paid for a service to process and serve your policy. Use them. Your carrier also will have a lot of resources that are pre-negotiated. They'll have pre-negotiated tree trimmers, tarps, roofers, you name it, mitigation companies. So when you call your insurance company to start it, then you have the opportunity to use their services, and that will stretch out and maximize your insurance benefit.
Also want to talk about the insurance villages, which you talked about on our show during Helene. And these insurance villages bring a lot of the major insurance companies to one location, so our listeners and the people of the Tampa Bay area can obviously go to a location, the insurance companies are set up, and it becomes rather efficient. So Bradenton opened yesterday, Monday, and that's at the Bradenton City Hall Auditorium building, and that's at 10 to 5. And then it'll be 9 to 5 beginning today. Clearwater opens today, Tuesday, October 15th at the Long Center, North Belcher, 10 to 5 today. And then it'll be 9 to 5 on the following days. Out in Lakeland, an insurance village at the RP Funding Center. That opens today as well out in Lakeland on West Live at the RP Funding Center. That's going to be 1 to 5 today and then 9 to 5 the following days. And then another insurance village is going to be in Plant City. That is going to open tomorrow, Wednesday, October 16th, and that's going to be right at the Florida Strawberry Festival on Berry Fest Place. And that's going to be open tomorrow, 10 to 5, and then 9 to 5 the subsequent days following.
Yeah, so So the insurance villages, we typically have the biggest writers in the state there present, whether it be, State Farm, Frontline, Flood, Security First, Southern Oak. We'll have a number of these carriers there. Their decision makers will be deployed out to these villages. Wright Flood, which is a very popular insurance here in this market, your flood insurance provider, they're set up there. So this is where you can talk to somebody face to face, and sometimes it's just so much easier. Look, people have empathy when you're sitting across from them face to face. There's a different type of humanity that exists as opposed to the sterileness of a phone call. So, please show up. Let us help you close your insurance claim.
Jimmy, folks, we're on the phone with Jimmy Petronas, the Chief Financial Officer for the state of Florida and Fire Marshal. Are we concerned about any solvency issues with any of the carriers at this point?
No. So, that was a popular question, and I tell people, insurance companies, they buy a product that's called reinsurance. That's insurance for an insurance company.
Yep.
So they'll have their capital in order to do their writing. The state of Florida then comes back and does a solvency check on them, saying, okay, how much do you want to write in the state of Florida? And then they have a finite amount of coverage they can write for. And then when they blow through their capital that they have in hand, that's when it goes to their reinsurance. So it's a system that works, but you have multiple storms in a given year, similar to Milton. Yeah, it definitely will stretch people thin, but this is why we have that cat fund. We do a number of things in Florida nobody else does because we're a hurricane-prone state.
Jimmy Petronas, thank you for coming on the MJ Morning Show again. Thanks for the access. We really appreciate it and getting the word out.
Anytime. My phone's always on for you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'll talk to you soon.
See you.
Jimmy mentioned FEMA and their Operation Blue Roof, where they can provide a tarp. Do you think they have one big enough for Tropicana Field?
Oh, you should have asked that, Pastor.
Dude, yeah.
Blue tarp on Tropicana Field.
If the Rays want to really bond with the community, let their roof look like everybody else's damn roof. Put a blue tarp up there.
Hey, let me call Ryan Westfall of Westfall Roofing. Hey, no, seriously, let me call Ryan Westfall right now. Hang on a minute.
Oh man.
Let me dial him up. Hold on.
Yeah. But yeah, man, put the blue tarp on the Tropicana Field. You know what? They probably have orange tarps.
Calling Ryan Westfall, Westfall Roofing Guru. Westfall Roofing, big sponsor here on the MJ Morning Show.
Great company.
Yep, westfallroofing.com for all your roofing needs. He might not recognize this number. I might have to call him from my cell. They've got a whole warehouse full of tarps. Do you have enough to sandbag at Blue Tarp Tropicana Field?
Would you
call has been... Yeah, hang on. Let me
would you bungee strap it down? How would you do that?
Yeah, let me just dial them on my cell